Hey, hello, my friend. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. I'm super happy to have you here today because there's something special, something actually new. It turns out that every Monday I'm doing something that I'm calling Ask Sergio Mondays live on Instagram. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where I go live at Sergio Gomez Art and I answer questions from my community. And I thought it would be really cool to also take that audio unedited and then share it with you here in the podcast, in the Artist Next Level podcast every week. So today I have the recording of last week's Q&A, so you can listen to it, you can learn from it, from the questions that others are asking, which I think is really, really cool. And if you want to participate, make sure that you join me for Ask Sergio Mondays at Sergio Gomez Art live on Instagram at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you enjoy today's session.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Whenever I do Q&A, I always say this. I'm just giving you my opinion based on my experience as an artist now, making art for over 25 years, professionally, also as a gallery owner of now 20 years when we launched our gallery in 2004. And also as a curator, I have curated exhibitions over 100 exhibitions in different parts, started in Chicago and now here in South Florida. I've done exhibitions all throughout the United States, Mexico, Europe. And so I kind of bring all that information into, answering questions and working with so many artists at all different levels, from emerging to very established as well. And also with my marketing background, I love all things marketing, as you guys know. And so I bring all of that history into, my answers, which at the end of the day, they are, just kind of my thoughts, my ideas. At the end, anything that you ask, you have the right, the last, decision. You decide what's best for you based on all the details that you have. I only give you an answer based on, the short things that I know about you and from what you put in the question. So, having said that, that's the disclaimer. Let me answer this question from Mallow Canvas, who asks, how do you incorporate different mediums such as candy or mellows, in this case, into art? Like, how do you apply a new medium, perhaps that is not a traditional art medium, into your art? That's a good question, And I believe that as artists, we are, when we walk in our studio, we walk into a lab, into a laboratory where you get to try and test and come up with crazy ideas sometimes, of what if I do X, Y, and Z? And I think as artists, we always need to be asking ourselves, what if? What if I do this? What if I change my format? What if I go round instead of square? What if, I think that when we ask ourselves the what ifs as artists, when, allows us to discover new ideas, to look at things a little differently, particularly when you're getting stagnant in your art and too repetitive. I start asking what ifs type of questions. What if I do this? What if I do that? What if? And I have done plenty of that myself. I have added all kinds of crazy things to my canvases, for testing things around. But this is what I would suggest, Malo. So when you want to adhere, attach something to your canvas, you gotta find a good adhesive. I particularly love gel medium adhesives. I think those work really well. Look for a good adhesive. And I suggest before you start working on a big, beautiful painting with this new material, whatever it is that you want to attach to it, test it out. Like, get some small canvases, 8x10s, use them as tests, test them out and let them dry fully. See if they, if they stand, see if they hold, over time. You gotta test things out before you actually put something out in the market for people to buy and acquire and things like that, so that it's going to work. And so testing is everything. In the studio, testing is everything. So I would say go for it, test it out. Also think about archivability, right? As you test things, think about the archivability of your materials that you use, particularly when they are non-traditional art materials. There are things that will fade out. There are things that will disappear, in a few years. There are some things that will start to break apart. So you gotta be conscious of that, when you start applying things to your art. particularly anything that's edible, it may also be affected by the environment, by light, by, so many other things that you need to be aware of, That doesn't mean that you should not experiment. Just experiment. Give things a try, but just keep that in mind as you do so. But I love that question. Thank you for asking. I think that's a good one. And experiment, everyone. We need to ask ourselves, what if I do this? And it's not always about material. Sometimes it's about ideas. What if I try this or that? I think that's how we can keep our studios really active and going with new ideas. All right, we have another question from Betty. Hi, Betty. How are you? Good to see you. I think Betty's here. Hi, Betty. She asked, which, by the way, Betty is in the show right now, geometric abstraction that we have happening right now in our Palm Beach gallery. So if you're in the Palm Beach area, make sure to stop by at the Palm Beach Art and Design showroom. That's where our new home for 33 Contemporary is at. We have a brand new exhibit that's called Interplay Geometric Abstraction. Check it out. The show has been extended all the way to the end of September. At the same time, you can also see work by other of our artists that we represent at 33 Contemporary Gallery as well. So check it out. Let us know if you're coming. All right, so Betty is asking, hi Sergio, thanks for doing this. My question, how can you find collectors or clients for your art when you don't live in a very art-inspired city or community, which means the opportunities for meeting that kind of people are very few. I have tried with Instagram and medias in general, but with not much success. That's a great question. I think this is something that a lot of artists will associate with, particularly, if you don't live in a big city like New York, LA, Miami, Los Angeles, Chicago. If you are an artist who lives, for example, in a rural place, you might find yourself like thinking, well, that's also me, right? So thank you, Betty, for bringing that up, because I think that's a very important question. How do we, connect with others for opportunities, when we are not in one of those big cities? Well, you got to start always where you're at, right? Always look at where you're at. And I believe in circles, right? There's this power on circles, on the nucleus is where you're at, right? Even if it's a small city, who are the key players in your city? Make sure you get to know them, attend some events in your city that people that you may want to connect with are there. A lot of times we put all our eyes on far away and we haven't really capitalized as much as we can on what we already have with us or nearby us, right? And then start going, okay, that's my inner circle. Okay, I'm taking care of my inner circle. I'm participating, doing events, connecting with people in my inner circle, who are close to me geographically. Then start expanding your circle. Okay, what is my next circle? What are the cities nearby that are, bigger cities perhaps that are near me? How can I start seeing what they have? These are cities that I can drive to, or I can take transportation because they are closer. It's not something that you're going to go every week, but you can start seeing what type of events, what type of exhibitions, what type of galleries or opportunities may be on those cities, so you can start planning for those things. Put them in your calendar, and then you start expanding your circles. Okay, what's the next circle? How about statewide, right? Am I close to Miami? Am I close to Palm Beach? Am I close to, other cities, right? And start pinpointing what would be the best time for me to go to XYZ city, right? Things are happening. For example, let's say you were in St. Louis, Missouri, and you want to go to Chicago because it's a bigger city, more art, a lot of things happening there, particularly during the non-winter months. So I would recommend you go to Chicago when it's time for the Chicago Art Expo. So find out when the Chicago Art Expo is. You look at the website and just Google it. We all have now Google, so we can access things quickly. And you plan a trip there for the weekend so you can go to the fair, you can meet, go sign up to also go to the talks that happen inside the fair, because you never know. You may be sitting next to a collector or a gallery or something just because you went to the artist talk. Or to also some of the events that happen around the art fairs. And you plan that, right? You arrive early to the fair. You walk in, you talk to people. Don't do it when everybody's there with the whole crowd and there's a lot of people and it's hard to make connections. Do it early, when the galleries are just getting their coffee ready and they're just starting, and you are the only one walking through the aisle. That's the best time to find those meaningful connections that you can make. So, find those opportunities. At the same time, during an art fair is when also all the galleries in the town are putting their best shows. Do a program. Like it's almost like if you're going on vacation and you're signing up for tours, except it's work, right? So you are going and signing up for different events that will be happening in different galleries, particularly artist talks. You want to go to events that are not like these big giant parties where there's a lot of people. You probably won't get to meet anybody, but more like smaller scale, like artist talks, panel discussions, things of that nature. That's where you want to go. Bring your business cards, make a point to at least meet one person there. And that's how you begin to expand your opportunities on a one-on-one basis, right? On a personal basis. And of course, we all have social media too, and trying to make connections through social media. I have made actually a lot of connections through social media, just by making myself also available to other people through social media, and also, me taking the first step. A lot of times we're like, well, nobody's contacting me in social media, nobody's asking me, nobody's coming to me, but well, it works both ways. Sometimes I can be the first one to initiate a conversation, and a conversation doesn't mean, hey, I saw that you're an art collector, can you look at my art, or can you give me advice, or can you give me, which I get a lot of those messages, particularly when artists see me opening the gallery here in South Florida. I get a lot of emails or messages from artists like, hey, I saw you open a gallery in South Florida, can you look at my art? Well, I don't even know you, we haven't even connected, we haven't even, that's not the right way to do it. Right way to do it. You see, for example, somebody who just did something like this, send them a message, super excited, congratulations. That's it, right? Then you continue following that person, you continue, looking at what they're doing and so on, and becoming a person of value to somebody else. I believe that we become persons or people of value to somebody else. That's when opportunities begin to show up. So what are we doing here, for example, in South Florida? I'll give you a great example. That's why I love this question. I'm going to give you a great example. I just moved here to South Florida, so we're spending our weekends where I could be, just relaxing and chilling in the sun and the beach or the pool. No, we're signing up for open studio events. We are, this weekend we went to open studio events in Norwood. It's pretty amazing. We met a collective of artists, super cool, and we're not going there to ask for things. We're just going to show up and say hi and shake hands and nice meeting you and exchange cards. And, that's how it all starts, But one has to be proactive. One has to plan. One has to be willing to step out of our comfort zone sometimes, in order to make ourselves visible. And that's how it all starts, right? You never know one person that you meet that, you're like, well, this is just another artist that I met. I really want to meet like important collectors or something like that. But all I meet is artists. It's okay. You start with artists. Every artist has a network. Maybe that artist that you meet and you become friends with, shares with you an opportunity that he or she is participating on. And all of a sudden that opportunity is the thing that, opens the doors for you. I always say that you may be just one email away or one conversation away, one business card exchange, one friend away from the opportunity that will change your life. We all could be in that spot right now. We don't know. So that's why, we do this with positivity, with a mindset of I'm here to give value versus take value from somebody else. So, Betty, thank you for that question. I loved it. And I love this. I love this. And this is exactly what we do every Thursday inside the Art Next Level program. For everyone who's in our program, this is kind of how I like to brainstorm ideas. It's not just, okay, here's a question, let me send you an answer, but let's brainstorm. Let me talk through as I'm thinking in my head. Let me talk to you about what is coming to my head. And then, hopefully that inspires you, motivates you to go and take some action and do some things with, that can make a significant change in your art career, right? That's exactly what it's all about. So, love that question. Let's see. I would like to take some more questions. I love questions. So, if anybody has a question, please put it in the comments. I'll take it. Easy, hard questions. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Samuel. Good to see you. Exciting. It's very inspiring what you are doing as well. So, thank you for joining. Here's a question from Fridge. I have my first big show in New York City this October. All right, so let's tell everybody, do me a big favor, everybody. Let's say congratulations to Fridge Arte. So you can put some hearts there as a way to say congratulations. Yeah, in an art community, when one of us wins, we all win, right? When one of us wins, we all win. That's what we believe inside our next level. When one of us wins, we all win. So congratulations. That's the first thing. Before I read the question, congratulations. You deserve that opportunity because you have worked hard. I don't know you, like up close and personal, but you deserve that opportunity because you have worked hard. All right. The question is, I was wondering if it's best to have my art framed for the show or just canvas that can be hung by thumbtacks or pinch clips. Ooh, that's a great question, right? So our friend is having a big show in New York City and is wondering, should I frame the artwork? Should I put it in thumbtacks or just clippings? And that's a great question. Well, this is what I recommend. Okay, this is what I recommend. Again, just take it from me as a recommendation, as an artist, as a curator. I was working with many artists who have the same question when they come to, send me their work for shows. This is a conversation that you definitely gotta have with your gallery, with your curator, with the director, because I don't know your art, but they do. Definitely they give you the opportunity, so they know your art. When they said, hey, we want to give you a show, there's a vision that they have in their mind or what they're envisioning to have in their gallery. And if they're envisioning to have work that looks amazingly framed and beautiful and totally finished for their collectors, and if you show up, to install day, actually we're gonna use push pins, there's gonna be a mismatch between your expectations and their expectations, right? So you need to have that conversation with your gallery. In my opinion, as an artist, you always want your work to look the best, to look amazing, to look clean. When I work with artists, we show a lot of art pieces that are not framed. However, I ask artists to clean up the edges so that the edges of the painting look nice and clean. If you're not going to frame it, it's okay, but let's make sure that the edges look nice and clean, that you don't have extra canvas hanging from the back, which has happened when artists sends a painting and they just didn't take the time to finish it properly, cut the extra canvas, and there's like all these kind of like threads hanging under the painting that then I have to do it myself or have to tuck it in the back. That means the artist is just paying attention to the front picture, but not the overall presentation of the work, which you want to do. You want to make sure, when you walk in that gallery, that you're 100% proud of the work that you are showing, and that the gallery is 100% proud of the work that they have. You don't want them to have second thoughts and say, yeah, you know what, I don't think we're going to invite this artist again, because it didn't work out, because their expectations didn't match. So, Fridge, that's what I would recommend. Have that conversation. They know your work. I have shown, and this is why there's never like one answer that fits all, right? It's always about the context, right? Who you are, what you make, and so on. I have shown a lot of my pieces, which are large scale, with grommet rings, and they just hang with 2 nails, totally on frame, not even on stretchers, but they look beautiful. They look super clean. The edges are clean. I put a white border all around, super clean. There's not even fingerprints on that border, so it looks pristine. And I always talk to the gallery director or curator who I'm working with. This is what I have. This is how I show them. I need your feedback. How can we work? Because also for hanging purposes, there are galleries in which you cannot put push pins because they use a different hanging system. So, for example, has happened to me. I traveled to Romania for a solo exhibition in a museum, and I make sure, because they have this beautiful museum at the heart of the city of Cluj, where the show was, the Museum of the City of Cluj. So it's a historical museum. You cannot put a nail or a push pin on that. So we had to come up with another system, to hang my artwork. But because we had that conversation, there were no surprises and there were no mismatch of expectations. And the show was amazing and beautiful. The work looked fabulous. I was proud. They were proud. And it was really a great experience. So that's my advice, Rich. Do that, and that can help you, avoid any pitfalls, any problems. So, great question. And this is a good question for everyone, because we all have opportunities and exhibitions. Never assume, always have conversations. Always talk. When you have conversations, things get resolved. When you don't have conversations, then, you have situations that lead to stressful situations, leads to, loss of trust between you and the gallery or the curator or the director, and vice versa. So I love that question. That's a good one. Thank you, guys. Hi, Petronila. Good to see you. Ricardo, good to see you too. Alejandra says, hi, thanks for this. Is it important to have a minimum of paintings to go to a gallery? If so, how many? The question of how many is too many, how little is too little, right? How much is too much? Is the glass half full or half empty? Well, there's not like a magic number, right? However, I'm gonna put myself in the role of the curator, right? As I may be looking at artwork for an exhibition or things like that. If an artist sends me like 3-4 pictures, I get just a little snapshot of, what that artist is trying to say, right? Versus if the artist sends me maybe about 8 or so, now I have a little bit of a bigger picture. If the artist sends me 20, 30, that's too many. I don't have time to go to that much. After the 4th, 5th, I already know, if I want to continue looking or not. If this is the artist that I'm looking for the next show or not. So I think you should include at least about 5-6 pieces that are good, that are the best. Start with your really strong work that you feel very proud of, and work that shows your vision, your idea. What is it that you're trying to say? I always think that a body of work in an artist's career, that you build a body of work. In other words, you make art, paintings, photography, sculptures, or so, are a chapter of a book. When you buy a book, right? This is a great book, How to Collect Art by Magnus Reich. It's a great book. Just came out. So this is for those of your friends who want to become collectors and they're not yet. Get them this book. So, when you buy a book, every book comes in chapters. So every chapter gives you a different idea, and every page, drives the point to that idea. Every paragraph, helps to build up onto that idea for that chapter, right? I believe in an artist's career, a body of work that you create, which will be a collection of maybe 5 paintings, 10, 20, however many, doesn't matter, that you create, is like one chapter in your book as an artist, right? That you are writing as you make art. This painting that I just started, right? It's going to be a paragraph, which is one painting in a body of work, which will be, a chapter. So if you think of it that way, as you select some pieces to present to a gallery, a curator, or a director, you think of, okay, what pieces do I want to select? How do I want to start this chapter, right? What's the first paragraph? When you write a book, which I had the opportunity to write one, one of the things I learned quickly is like each paragraph needs to sell the idea for the next paragraph so that you continue reading, right? So that the reader doesn't give up too soon and puts the book away under the rug and forget about it, right? Each paragraph sells the idea for the next one, something I had to learn. So it's a kind of like the same thing. As you put your portfolio together, think about which are the pieces that, really hone in into what I'm trying to say as an artist, right? And I think you will have a better success when you present your portfolio. And you don't need that many pieces. You just need some really good ones to start with. The gallery could always ask for more, Let's say you send them 6 pictures, 6 images. If they're interested, they say, okay, I really like this. Let me see more, right? And that's what you want. Don't overwhelm them with too many options, which then becomes overwhelming as well. Again, but that's my personal advice. Thank you for asking. Love that. Hi, Cesar, Alexandra, Eve, Ivan, many who are here. Thank you. Another question. How do you do studio visit day when your studio is in your house? That's a great question. I love that question. How do you do studio visit, when you don't want to bring strangers into your house and such? Well, you can do a private studio visit, and because you have a open studio event, doesn't mean that you have to open your doors to everyone and anyone who just walking down the street and they see a sign and they just walk in, right? You don't want that in many places. Everybody's different. Some people don't mind, but others do. So what you want to do is do a private studio event where it's by invitation only. And here's what you do. the people that you invite, they can invite a friend too, because you want that the people that you invite, that they bring a friend that you do not know. You don't want to have in your studio only people that may possibly be buyers or not, right? So that's why you're very careful who you invite, and because you trust that person, you know that they're not going to invite, somebody walking down the street. They're going to invite another friend who perhaps loves art, who perhaps would love to introduce you to them, because they maybe just bought a new home and they say, hey, I was invited to this open studio, but this artist I know, I've been going to her shows, or maybe I have work in my home, and come over, it's going to be fun. Because they can invite another person, and that's how you can extend that network, and it's a control environment, it's a control list, because it will be like a by invitation only, and make sure that it's very clear by invitation only, you plus your guest, and everybody needs to RSVP, so you have the person's email and phone numbers, if you want. And that's how you do it. And in fact, actually, I love these questions too, because inside the Art Next Level program right now, we just started the Building Your Collector Circle Masterclass, which you can still sign up to tomorrow. You can still sign up. And it's a 10-week program where we are working on exactly how we find collectors. We answer a lot of these questions. And in the session that I just released for this week, I talk about the studio visits and, things that you can do with that. And we're going to have also a one full session, who's going to be led by our friend, Drew Harris, who is one of our coaches, internationally known artist, he has done tons of really successful studio visits, and he's going to give us some really good insight on how to prepare for a successful studio visit, what to do during your studio visit, and how to follow up after the studio visit, which is what a lot of us forget to do. We have the studio visit, people come, have a great time. Next day, I'm tired. I'm just going to watch movies all day. No, next day is when you actually should be in your computer, in your phone, messaging, texting, following up, doing the work that will lead to more sales for your work or more opportunities for your art. So, and if you want to sign up for that, for the Build Your Collector Circle Masterclass, just go to my profile link. I think somewhere there. Click on it and then sign up, because you can still register. You do it quickly, you do it today. And there's a lot of really cool bonuses that come with that. You're going to get some scripts that you can use for contacting your collectors in different situations. 100 different scripts that you can use for any situation. It's going to be really awesome. All right. So everyone's invited. Everyone's watching this. You're invited to join us for that. Hi, let's see, many others. Jared, good to see you, my friend. My friend from LA, Jared. I have a question. Will galleries and collectors like it when you have a manager that represents you? That's a great question. It depends on the gallery, and it depends on the manager, right, as well. That is, it's okay. Many artists today have a manager, and that is fine. I have worked also with a few artists who have managers, not many, but a few that have managers. And in that case, it can get complicated if the manager is not a good communicator, or if the manager is not very good about working with galleries, right? Which I have worked with managers who are really great and wonderful, and everything I asked, they gave me, and no problem. But also in a couple of occasions, I have met managers who, do not pass the information to the artists, who don't send information on time, who they think they're all that, that they own the artist, and those situations, rather than open opportunities for you, may actually, get like scared opportunities your way, because a gallery will not want to work with that person if the manager is the one who is the intermediary. It's not very common, but if you have a manager, make sure that it's somebody you trust, somebody who speaks on your behalf well about your work, that actually is finding opportunities for you, not taking them from you, right? So just be careful. Anybody can say, hey, I'm a manager, but not everybody can deliver, right? So make sure that the person can deliver for you. Great question. I love it, Jared. By the way, I've seen your biggest pieces that you're working on. It looks amazing. Congrats, my friend. Looks really good. And Jared is a great example, of an artist that we have not met in person yet, but we have known each other because of social media and because of our program also in the Our Next Level. So, we have become good friends of that, and I've been part of his journey, for many years too. That's a beautiful thing, having friends that through social media, and you see in their career, other fellow artists, is a beautiful and amazing thing. It's exciting. So thank you. Thank you for that question. All right, Valerie says, hi, word of mouth recommendations from other artists is valuable. Totally, 100%. Artsy did a survey was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year, don't remember. But they did a survey asking galleries how they find artists, okay? So they did a survey, and as you know, Artsy is one of the biggest marketplace for art galleries online, and you'll find most of the galleries and art fairs on Artsy. So they have access to a lot of galleries from around the world, and they sent a survey. And I know because I filled out the survey too. For our gallery. And in the survey, they ask, how do you find artists? So, and when you look at the results of the survey, the top 2 ways in which galleries find artists to work with is one, through, as Valerie says, through recommendations from other artists, and through Instagram. Those were by far the top 2, double digits bigger than any other one, like exhibitions or portfolios or anything like that. Instagram and recommendations from other artists, from others. So that's why you want to have artist friends too, good friends, right? Who invite you to their shows, who introduce you to people. And don't think like, when I talk about this, sometimes an artist comes and say, well, Sergio, I have a lot of friends, but nobody has introduced me to their gallery. Like, well, have you introduced them to any of your opportunities? Oh, no. So it goes both ways, right? Because you're an artist too, you want to also do the same. And it's not like they are going to, necessarily, if they are represented by a gallery, they, like somehow put you in the gallery, right? It's not in their power. But, you go to their shows, you go to their openings, and because of the association, you get to meet the curator or the director, and that's how things happen. Sometimes galleries may throw a party for their artists, and they can invite another person or another artist, so that's how that can happen, right? And again, it's the statistics, not just my opinion, it's the statistics from what galleries said from around the world. Number 2, top 2 ways in which they find artists is through other artists, recommendations, and through Instagram, right? So that's the data. That's not just me making it up. You can look it up. Look for that survey and Google it. It's actually a very good survey. By the way, as artists, we should always be looking at those surveys too and see, how things change. Hi, Andres. Good to see you. I actually visited my good friend Andres' studio over the weekend. Amazing. I love that. He did such a wonderful studio guided visit. He even gave us a demo, which is great, So if you're an artist who you have somebody visiting your studio, another artist or a curator or a gallery, a nice little demo, it's actually really cool, particularly if you do out of the ordinary type of work, right? And that I really enjoyed that. We had a great time. We loved it. All right. Let's see. Other question. I'm scrolling here. What advice would you have liked to hear when you were starting out? Oh, well, I'll start with the best advice that I've ever received, which is an advice that I received when I was starting out, right? And this advice has helped me throughout my career, and I'm sure it will help me until the day I die. Very simple advice. My friend, Ruth Serkovich, says, Sergio, it's all about people, right? In the art world, it's all about people. You learn to work with people, and then opportunities will come up. And how true that was. And the way I took that advice, the way I translated that advice is not like, it's all about people. It's not about letting people walk over you, but rather, you be a person of value to others, whoever you're working with. Stand your ground for what you believe and what you stand for as an artist, as an individual. Be a person of conviction and values, whatever those are, whatever you pick, so people know, right? and be a person that do things right, do things well, and works well with others, right? Nobody likes to work with a difficult person, with a negative person, with everything. They only point out what's wrong, right? The person who only comes to the show and only points out, oh, that one's a little crooked, or the light is they haven't even give you a compliment for all the hours and hours that you work to put the show together, and they're already just pointing out every little thing that they find that is wrong. There's a spot on the carpet, so nobody likes to work with people like that. I certainly don't. I'm sure you don't either, right? You want to work with people who are honest, of course, who can point out, hey, that one's crooked. Let's fix it. Okay, no problem. And then, solving problem people. I love working with solving problem people, right? It's okay to point something that's not working. And actually, many artists sometimes correct me if I misspell something. And I think, oh, shoot, thank you so much. Let me go fix it, right? And be a person of value in that way. That's how I took that advice. So that's the advice that I received, that I have taken. One advice that I didn't receive, that I wish I had received when I was younger, is to be adaptable. I didn't realize, we live in the present, right? So as living in the present, we cannot foresee the future. I didn't realize how much the artist's life was all about adaptation. You cannot fall in love with the thing that you're doing now in terms of your marketing and sales and your promotions, because that will change. You know how many artists took them forever to move from digital slides to digital, from slides to digital? I lived that transition. A lot of my friends hated it, and for years they wish that we will be back in those days, but we're not coming back, so get over it, right? The slap in the face, wake up, the world is moving, it's changing. I wish I had learned that younger, so that I would have been more adaptable younger. Now I'm super adaptable, and if things change, they change, right? It is kind of what it is. So yeah, I love that question. I love it. Thank you so much for sending that. I think that's a really good one. And thank you guys for sticking around. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people here sticking around. Thank you. I was like, oh, maybe 5 people are going to show up. So you guys made my day, made my Monday. So that means I'm going to go back to do this next Monday. How about that? So maybe we can do it a little Monday date around this time. Okay, let's see. Thank you. I will do that. I would love to work with you in the future. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, keep an eye on our call for artists that we have. That's how we find artists too. We put call for artists for upcoming exhibitions, and that's how we discover artists. We find artists that we may be working with. And if you see a call that doesn't fit with the type of work that you do, just wait. Just wait, see where there's another opportunity, like the one that we have right now, interplay, geometric abstraction. 90% of the artists I have never met before. I didn't know about them, and through the show, I'm getting to know them and so on. So we're gonna work with some of them from this point forward as well. So that's kind of how it happens, right? It's organic. It's all in a good energy, right? Good energy. All right. And as an artist, it happens the same to me, by the way. When I take the role of the artist and I'm applying, sometimes I get in the show. Sometimes I also get, letters that I don't like to read that says, sorry, but you did not get in the show. And I know that sucks, but it's part of what it is. It is what it is. We have to grow thick skin and read that letter, be sad for a moment, and say, move on, and get back in the studio and get to work, right? And just because that gallery or that curator said no one time doesn't mean it's no forever. I have had, in my career, and probably everyone who has been an artist for a while, you have had shows where you took the ribbon, you were first prize winner, and then next year you didn't even get in the show. That has, maybe I'm the only one, but I know that has happened to me and many of my friends, right? Things change, and that I find that to be the beauty of art, that is unpredictable, right? There's the unpredictability, maybe, of art, right? That you don't know who's going to connect with the piece. And in fact, I'm 100% sure as a curator, if I were to pick artists, in the summer, maybe I will have a different sensitivity than if I do it in the winter. I may pick different artwork because different times of the year, different seasons, different temperaments, those are things that we are sensitive to when it comes to our art. And I find that to be beautiful rather than a detriment. I find that to be beautiful. That's what makes art to be what it is, right? So that's exciting. Although sometimes it sucks when we don't get in the shows that we want. All right. Jerry says, hi, Jerry. I am an abstract geometric artist. Awesome. Congratulations. My work doesn't always necessarily look exactly the same. I work in series. Is that something that will hurt me as I pursue more galleries? That's a good question. I think because you're working, and again, I'm not very familiar with all your work, so hard for me to tell. And that's why, this, take it with a grain of salt. It's my opinion, and then you do you, right? Based on the context of the question. But I think, because you're working on series, so you have, various works that thematically or visually, aesthetically, they have some sort of thread of connection that a gallery may connect with. For example, when I work with an artist, I may look at a body of work that may have, or an artist that have multiple series, and I may say, you know what, I love that one, not so much, but that series you got there, it's for us, it's for us. So, and most galleries probably will do something similar. And I've reviewed a lot of artist portfolios through our program or one-on-one coaching sessions, which by the way, we also do. If you ever wanted to line up a coaching call with me, just go to our website. You can find that there. Look for the one-on-one sessions. We sit down for 1 hour, can review your portfolio or whatever it is that you want me to do with you. We do it through Zoom. And I review a lot of artist portfolios. And sometimes an artist comes to me and says, Sergio, I have this problem. All my art is so different. And I don't know if, like that question, if a gallery will take me seriously because it's all over the place. And when I review it, I'm like, actually, it's not that far off as you may think of, because you are the artist and you are making the art, and every piece is so important to you. You see them as so disconnected and far out. But me as an outsider coming in, seeing it as a body work for the first time, actually you have a lot of, really good sensitivity around, the different collections. So you are much closer than what you may think. And that happens quite often, because we are so close to our work as artists. Sometimes we need that also feedback from others, which could be, a person like me that, you go for a one-on-one session. Could be another artist that you trust and that you connect with and that you have great conversations with. That comes and does a studio visit or through Zoom or something that says, hey, what do you see? Do you see a connection there or not? And then again, think about those ideas. So that's my advice, Jerry. Maybe get some feedback too from others, but get to see each collection for what they are, how they find what is the thread of connectivity. Actually verbalize that, even in your own mind, in your studio. Which, by the way, everyone here, every artist can do an artist talk in your studio anytime. If you have a pet, put your pet in front of you and tell your pet, I'm going to give you an artist talk, and give him some treats so stays there. And talk about your art to your pet, or to, put a picture of your favorite artist or curator and pin it on the wall. That's how you practice talking about your art, right? Verbalizing. There's something about verbalizing or thoughts or ideas that can really put you far up front as an artist, right? An artist who is able to articulate, contextualize their art in the world today is an artist who has a tool to their disposal that you can use when you talk about your art, when you tell your stories, when you do your marketing, when you're talking to a curator, when a curator collector comes to your studio, you don't feel like, I don't know what to say, because you have already said it too many times to your pet, right? And that is okay, that is fine. That's something that we should do and we should practice quite often. Verbalizing your ideas. So, and those are, these are the kind of things that I really, really love. You guys can see how much I love Q&A sessions, because I never know what question is coming. I never ask, send me the question 10 days before so I can prepare. No, I like to read them, give you my kind of my brainstorming at the moment, and then we move on to the next one. I already forgot the first question that we talked about, right? Because I'm so in the moment with your questions. That's what I do every Thursday inside our Next Level program. We do this with our members, specifically as they're working through their art business, their art careers, help them through the things that they're going through so that they can move forward. And the truth is, in a selfish way, I get better as an artist and I learn as much when I'm doing Q&A myself, right? Because I get reminded of things I need to do, reminded of things I can improve, I can do better as an artist myself, just by the questions. So it's great that, even though many of you guys may not have a question, but that you're here because you can learn and listen and get inspiration also from the questions of others. And I'm going to wrap it up very soon. I can't believe it's already 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. What do you think about Wix? It's good. Wix is nice. Wix is a good platform, such as also Squarespace and many others. What I suggest is, and that's my buddy there, Sergio Gomez, artist. We both have same first name, same last name. We both artists. So good to see you, Sergio. Tocayo. So what do you think about Wix? So again, when you're picking, in my opinion, when you're picking a website platform for your art, what you want to do is you want to look at the features, look at the pricing, look at what they offer, look at the templates. These are all template-based websites where you just drop your content. Make sure that it's something that you like, right? Don't pick a platform just because it's popular but you don't like how it looks and you will not be able to do what you want. And to me, what is one of the most important things is, will you be able to sell your art through there? What kinds of tools do they have for me to sell my art? To make promotions and things like that. So every platform has variations, different things, depends what you're looking for, and depends of your budget too. So I would say always do a comparison, compare, take the time to do that. Don't rush it, because once you pick a platform, you gotta stay with it for a while. Particularly as you start to get search engine. The search engines like linking to your pages and so on. If you later change platforms, you will lose all those links and you're starting from scratch. So, that's something that you might want to do. But yeah, Wix is nice. Wix is good. All right. Nari, I have a similar question. I feel like I'm endlessly experimenting and it's hard to identify if there is a style that weaves through it all. Some people tell me that there is, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, that's a great question, Nari. And so it happens to me sometimes too. I'm in the studio like, what in the world am I making? What am I doing? And sometimes that's where I need to step back, think about it, sometimes leave the work for a while, work on something else, come back to it, bring people in. I have people that I send pictures of what I'm working on. Also, people that I trust, other artists that I trust that, we exchange sometimes, hey, what are you doing in the studio? And we have those conversations. So it's important to have those conversations. So what I recommend, Nari, is have those conversations with others too. Something that we do inside our Next Level is once a month now we're doing it's called studio visits, where an artist can share the studio for 10 minutes to either share their art or share what's happening in the studio. And those are pretty cool because others get to see that. And so if an artist has a question like that, they can ask, hey guys, I don't know if these things connect. What do you think? And then, we can give that person some feedback and advice, which is great. All right, I'm going to take one last, and I'm going because I'm hungry. I'm going to go have my lunch. Will you interview collectors in the program? Yes. In fact, we have a really, the first one interview was already done. It's really great. It will be released as part of the program. And it's with the Bennett collectors, Stephen Bennett and Dr. Elaine Bennett, who are the collectors of the Bennett Prize and the Bennett collection of women artists, I should say. And they're amazing. They've been collecting art for so many years. We have worked with them together as well. They are now doing really cool things. They have the Bennett Prize, which every year they give $50,000 for one artist, no strings attached, to be able to devote to her art and her work. And I think the call is already open for submissions, and specifically for figurative female artists. So it's really great. If you've never heard of that, or if you know other female artists who work with the figure, send them a link, have them Google the Bennett Prize, because it's a really amazing opportunity for them. And I'm so happy. So yeah, we interview them. We are going to interview others too as part of the program. So it's going to be great. All right. I think I said I was going to take one more. Yes, we have you. Excellent. Thank you, Jerry. Okay. I think I'm going to just. Angelica says, thank you, Sergio, for your detailed and honest explanation. Oh, thank you. My pleasure. This is good, Sergio. What role do you feel art leagues and artist associations have to help artists? Ooh, that's a good question. Nobody has ever asked me that before. What role do you feel art leagues and artist associations have to help artists? That's a great question. For once, I think many of these groups, they provide community, which for many artists, that's the main reason they may join an art league or an association, a local association of artists. Because it provides community, provides a place where you can go, meet up with other artists, sit down, talk about art, share your art. Many of them organize exhibitions for their members, or they invite guests. I have spoken about marketing and art business to many groups like that, that I invited to. And those are wonderful. They invite me, I go, we have a great conversation, we talk, we discuss ideas. And so those are some of the benefits. Each organization is different. So I would say, always read the fine print, exactly what they do. See who else is in the group. Do you feel that it's a good fit? In all these groups or communities, I suggest, you take the time to dig in a little deeper. It's a beautiful thing that we all have social media. All these groups have social media. So go check, see what activities they're doing, see who are the other artists who are there. Do you see yourself as a good fit for the group? Does it fit kind of like also your goals and aspirations that you may have as an artist, where you are now in your art career, where you are in the world? Those things do matter, right? I believe for every answer that I give here, and also in my program, Set at Next Level, I always say, my answers is my opinion, but you have to take that answer and then contextualize it to who you are as an artist, what it is that you make, where you are in the world, and what is it that you want as an artist, right? So those are questions that you have to answer yourself. So, but based on that, I think there are really wonderful organizations out there who do a fabulous work and fabulous job to help artists stay connected, motivated, work together. I believe in the power of community. And that's why I do these things. That's why I'm very active on my Instagram, because it's a wonderful community for me. And I believe communities, have amazing, incredible power. We can do great things when we work together versus when we are in isolation. So, yeah, everyone. I think every artist should be part of a community of some sort, either online or physical or both. I'm actually, as I came to Florida here, I'm part also of a local community, and also, of course, the online community of the Art Next Level program, and also the Territory Contemporary or artists that we work with. And I love community. So, we're always talking to people. All right. So, and Malo Canvas, I actually answered your question. That was the first question that I answered. So if you missed that, just in case, just go back after I'm done. I'm gonna save this video in my feed. So go check it out so you can watch the replay to the question that you have sent me. So having said that, my friends, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. This was super awesome. I really enjoyed that. Yes, I'm going to save the live, of course, so you guys can watch it. Send it to your friends. Please do me a big favor. If you like this, share it. And and this is another thing I want to say really quickly before I go. Many of you guys know me because I used to do a show that was called Breakfast with Sergio. You remember that? Everybody remembers Breakfast with Sergio? If you do, put some hearts there. If you met me or you knew me because of Breakfast with Sergio, that's a show I used to do some years back, where I would sit down while I was having my breakfast and talk about art, right? Talk about the business of art, marketing for artists, all kinds of stuff. I even had my kids come to the show and do all kinds of things. I visited artists also in their studios as Breakfast with Sergio. I had breakfast with other people too that I thought were interesting for artists. So then after a while, after actually episode 300 and something, of Breakfast with Sergio, I actually took a break because I was packing and moving, and it was difficult to do my videos and so on. So now that I'm settled again here in South Florida, and now life seems to be getting more stable, I'm thinking of bringing back Breakfast with Sergio, maybe 2 days a week. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday and Thursday or so. So if you like that idea, let me know. I think that'll be fun. Send me a message. I would love to hear from you. What kind of topics would you like to hear on Breakfast with Sergio? And trying to bring that back and have fun while I eat my breakfast. Breakfast is one of the favorite meals of my day, and yeah, it'll be kind of fun. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. Have a fabulous week. I'm going to be doing this again next Monday. And if you want to be part of the Next Level program, work with me on a regular basis inside the program, have access to all or the Collector Circle Masterclass that we're doing right now, just click on my profile link or just send me a message, send me a DM, say, hey Sergio, tell me more. I'll send you a link directly so you can find more and you can sign up and register, because we're starting. We already started, but that's okay, because the way it works is when you sign in, that's when you every 7 days you'll get a new video that's automatically releases for you. So those sessions, you can watch them from anywhere that you are, and inside of our private community, you can engage with us, ask questions, connect with others, and really do life together, which is what a wonderful community should do. So thank you, my friends. Have a good rest of your day. Love you guys. Take care.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.